The rumble of distant storms. Sunday, March 4th, 1984. I am exceptionally tired right now. I spent too many hours with too many games last night. I'll be the first to admit that I really overdid it. It was a nearly fatal overdose. The morning sun is bright as I lay in bed reading over my VIC-20 game program manuals. A little hair of the dog, I guess you could say. The year is 2582 and the people of Earth are in the midst of battle against the robots. A lethal robot missile has just landed and everyone is depending on you to find the secret code which unlocks the defense mechanism.
3, 2, 1.
Yes, all of the games have a theme of robot invasion. Throughout the colorful pages a troop of cartoon robots scurry about, explaining the basics of computer programming to the reader as well as many lines of computer code that needs to be typed out that will become a functioning video game when you run it. Unless you make a syntax error somewhere along the way. The other book, Zap, Pow, Boom, is filled with a great number of programs to type out. Some of the programs are pages long and that just proves that I need a dataset recorder so that I can save those games on tape rather than losing all my work whenever I turn the computer off. At the beginning of the book is a relatively short program that allows you to incorporate an Atari 2600 joystick controller into the games. That's much better than trying to use the keyboard for everything.
In lieu of David's comment, here is the very latest from the Falkland Island situation.
As the morning eases toward noon, parts of Arkansas begin experiencing more of the same angry weather that we dealt with yesterday. Severe thunderstorm warnings are being issued for several of the northern counties. The weatherman just interrupted this week with David Brinkley and placed us in a tornado watch until 8 o'clock tonight. It's eerie to think that lightning and hail are pounding away in cities not too far away while it's so quiet and sunny here. I lean back against my pillow, trying to stretch some feeling back into my spine.
This week with David Brinkley is a presentation of ABC News.
I think I may have some homework to do before tomorrow, but at the moment I grab the most recent issue of the Star Wars comic and glance over it again. It's a Lando Calrissian fill-in story called The Sweetheart Contract. It doesn't have a whole lot to do with the ongoing series. Aaron English was reading this comic in the living room the other day and I was genuinely afraid he was going to put a nasty crease in the cover. Evening arrives and the sun remains lit in the western sky. The storms have generally remained north of us, even though a tornado was spotted just south of Little Rock a little earlier. Some guy died in a private plane crash during one of those storms. Feeling altogether tired of games and computers and bad weather, I decide to forego watching the rest of Ripley's Believe It or Not and go outside for a stroll. I stretch, my tired joints cracking and popping alarmingly as I slosh across the mossy wet backyard. I put my hands in my pockets and listen to a group of noisy birds chirping in the trees overhead. The air is cool and heavy with the scent of wet leaves. The weekend is nearly at its end. I'll be back at school tomorrow. I've been thinking about Karen and Carla all day. Karen and Carla. Carla and Karen. Which one am I thinking of more? Sometimes I don't even want Karen to be around me. How could I want to be in a relationship with her? I heard the song "Don't Stand So Close to Me" by The Police on the radio this morning and I immediately thought of Karen. My feelings toward her can certainly be said to be schizophrenic. Carla is a bright, fresh element from out of the realms of nowhere, totally unexpected and lacking in the ongoing hang-ups I have about Karen. I don't know what choices I will ultimately be presented with. I must wait and see what happens and then respond to whatever developments take place. After pondering the serious ongoing elements of my life, it feels like a good time to let my imagination out to play a little. I slid back into the little world I created back on a sunny Saturday morning in January. The Earth had just survived an invasion from the cloud demons but had suffered greatly for the victory. Still recovering from catastrophic damage, a new outbreak of hostilities between the humans and the cloud demons comes to pass. The War Walkers arrive in the late evening, catching Earth defense totally by surprise. War Walkers are deadly, human androids as tall as skyscrapers designed to storm cities and wreak maximum havoc. Earth defense fighters, still recovering from January's invasion attempt, buzz around the War Walkers like flies, hoping to find a weakness and bring the striding monstrosities down. The giants fire the disintegration weapons mounted in their eyes, hands and chests, obliterating whatever they hit. They blow fighters, buildings, and people into puffs of hot, foul-smelling dust. Finally have some success by concentrating on individual body parts, blasting away an arm or the head. After a concentrated missile attack, a catastrophic chest malfunction finally causes one of the War Walkers to erupt with fire and debris. Crowds of fleeing civilians seek shelter from the explosion. With the machine suddenly unbalanced, its leg bends sideways and breaks apart beneath its weight, resulting in the thunderous collapse of the entire body. Earth defense follows this strategy against the rest of the machines and then the invasion is brought to a swift conclusion. I stomp through the damp woods, imagining the gleeful sci-fi violence beneath the cool, late evening sun. I eventually drift back into my more mundane reality. I stare at the dead, brown leaves littering the trail in front of me. Everything is dark and soaked from yesterday's storms. Something weird is going to happen this week. I can feel it. I've felt it flowing like a cool undercurrent somewhere in my mind since Friday afternoon. I don't know what it is, but I figure it will be something very far out of the ordinary. I finally wrap up my thoughts, getting back inside the house in time to catch the last segment of Ripley's Believe It or Not.